Hello everyone and welcome to WCI Studio. Yeah, you heard it right because this is a special edition of WCI Studio and we are here at ProWine Mumbai 2022. So the whole idea is that to understand and gaze the ProWine 2022 and meet the distinguished guest here. So allow me to welcome Mr. James Hemen. He is the fifth generation owner of Hemen Gins from UK. Hi James.
Hi, lovely to
Welcome.
be here.
Oh, super. So this is your first trip to India?
It is, yeah, first trip, yeah.
So how is India treating you?
It's been great. We arrived here a couple of days ago and obviously the first day of the show today. So, really happy to be here and to come to the market. The last few years has been a bit tricky trying to travel with COVID. So to be able to come back and start seeing people again and visiting customers and markets again, it's what it's all about.
Yeah, I think in our industry, meeting in person is always important.
Yeah, I agree. I'm happy to see face to face than do Teams or Zoom calls. I think we've
So James, fifth generation
Yeah.
M engine.
Yeah.
So we'll be glad, to hear more about your organization.
Yeah.
How is this going?
Yep, so my family first started making gin in London in 1863, so 160 years next year. I'm fifth generation and I've worked in the business now for nearly 20 years. And gin at the moment is going through a huge renaissance and it's actually made, London gin was kind of where gin was established. Holland, some people argue a little bit, but the style of gin that we know today, the London style of gin. And we're the only family of the original gin distillers from the first gin craze in London who still make gin today. So that's quite an achievement to make it through 5 generations and 160 years. And for us, it's about staying true to our family gin, and really being the authentic London-made gin.
Okay. Okay. Good. But James, tell me one thing that looking at the way the world is growing, what do you think the event like ProWine or this trade events, how important they are?
I think it's hugely important. I think to meet people face to face, to come and allow people to sample your gins or your wines or your other spirits that you might have. If you can't do it face to face, I think it's very, very difficult. So for us, we've been for almost 20 years. We've been establishing our international business, and if it wasn't for shows like ProWine, I don't think we'd have been able to do it. So really, really important.
So you experience any other ProWine across the globe?
Yep, so we go to the one in Germany, in Düsseldorf. I've been to the one in Singapore a few times over the years, and then obviously first time to ProWine in Mumbai. And so, they're great shows. I think they're really good. You meet so many people. And I think the good thing about the spirits category is that, or spirits and wine, is that you meet friends as well. And I think it's a very friendly category to work in. So we meet people over the years. And when you see them time and time again, they come more than just colleagues, they come friends as well. So a lot of friendships have been made at these shows.
So ProWine Mumbai, it was last year. It was the first edition, and this is for the first time the comprehensive bigger platform. And today we have 1,000+ brands and 100+ stalls. And so how is your ProWine Mumbai experience till now?
Well, yeah, so far so good. I think it's a really impressive setup here. I think it feels like ProWine. So when you go from Germany to Singapore to Mumbai, the sort of the look and feel of the show is the same. It's been here a few hours. I've done a masterclass on gin, etc. And I think also, at the moment, gin is a spirit which people are interested in. So to be able to come here and people want to talk to you and you want to talk to them. So yeah, very good so far.
That's interesting. For last 2 years, I think the gin is trending. So how you as a manufacturer or owner, how you look at this trend and what all your prospects towards?
Gin over the last 10 years has really grown, from a global point of view. I think, as you said, in the last couple of years from an Indian point of view, which from a gin producer, it's fantastic. I think there's lots of innovation in gin. From our point of view, we do look to the future as well, but we very much make those authentic styles of gin. So London dry gin, we're the only people who make the authentic London dry gin in London. So I mean, my father, who's worked in the industry for 50 years, has never seen gin like it is at the moment. So I think it's great for the category. I think it's great for companies like Heyman's, and I think it's good for new startups as well. I think there's a lot of variation, and I think when you have lots of variation, it makes it a more interesting category to work in. I think what's really good about gin is it works so well in cocktails. It's so diverse. So if you compare it to vodka, vodka makes a cocktail alcoholic, whereas gin adds different flavors. And if you take 10 different gin brands and make the same cocktail, you get 10 quite different cocktails. And I think that's one of the attractions of gin. So yeah, we're very happy that gin's having this comeback, and people want to drink gin again. And even for a company or family who've been making gin a long time, I think it's great. There were times when gin was less popular, so it's far better.
And you got some really interesting flavors, if you can say about that.
Yeah, so we very much focus on the gins that have been around a long time. So London Dry, the most famous style of gin. We make an Old Tom, which was the original London gin. It's a fabulous gin, Old Tom. Every cocktail bar should have a bottle of Old Tom gin, and every cocktail menu should have a cocktail made of Old Tom. But we also look to the future, and over the last few years, we've developed some new styles. So we've got a Heyman's Exotic Citrus Gin. And at a time when flavoured gin, I mean, gin is a flavoured product, but people are looking at more diverse flavours in the gin category. From our point of view, we want to ensure that gin is a distilled spirit. Some of the flavoured gins at the moment, they distill a gin and then they add like a sugar flavoured syrup to it to give it flavour, which is fine. But for us, we want to be true to what gin should be. So Exotic Citrus, we've got 4 additional botanicals, which is mandarin, kumquat, pomelo and Persian lime. It just gives it some, enhances that citrus flavour profile. And then we've also developed peach and rose, which is a bit like our sloe gin. Sloe gin's a very old heritage style of gin, but the peach and rose, we use peach, rose and other fruits from orchards. And it's a very summerful, fragrant style of gin. Works really well in a spritz or with a lemonade mixer. Because it's funny, because some people go, I don't like gin. And when you actually ask a bit more about it, they don't like tonic. So it's trying to find ways that people can enjoy gin, which isn't also necessarily also tonic. So yeah, we very much retain our, to be true to how gin should be, but also look to the future too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Last but not the least, I think, India is now the 5th biggest economy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sure that you, as a seasoned businessman, you must have changed or adopted the new tactic for India, how to, achieve more, going aggressive in India. So what's your plans?
Well, I think if you're going to, you look at a market and see it growing and you think we want to be in that market, and that sounds really easy, but it's a bit harder than actually doing that. So I think the first thing that's really important is to find a good partner. So we're very fortunate we work with Monica. We have for about the last year and a half. And they understand Heyman's, they understand the type of business we are, and they want to be part of the gin category in India. So that's great. And then from our point of view, we have to come and support the market, which is, obviously, and also you have to understand the market. The only way you can understand the market is by visiting the market and then support the market by coming to shows like Provine in Mumbai. So I think gin is still growing in India. It's an exciting category. I think it's got some good potential to grow. I think the gin category can grow and the Indian economy can grow. So they're 2 very important parts. So we're excited to be here. We realise that things take time. It doesn't always happen overnight. And we will, over the next couple of days, hopefully meet lots of people, talk about Heyman's and talk about how we can grow Heyman's in India.
That's incredible. I think, I always believe in one mantra for India, that be in the market and conquer the market. So being in the market, you are already there. And so half of the work is already done. So the next half is, working with the partners and...
it's working with the market. I think it's first of all, you've got to find a partner, then you've got to make sure that Heyman's is available to bartenders and to shops, etc. And then you've got to support it from that point onwards. I think that helping people understand how to make drinks with Heyman's, the type of cocktails you can make. We've got quite a wide range of different gins, and they make different types of cocktails. I talk a lot about Old Tom, but I do really mean it. Every cocktail bar should have Old Tom, and every cocktail menu should have an Old Tom cocktail on the menu. It sounds very simple, but it takes a little while to do. So we've got to make people understand why Old Tom is such a great, fabulous gin to have, and then across the wide range. So nothing in life is easy, and you have to, and certainly in the world we live in today, having come through a pandemic and the other issues that's caused at the moment. But I think if you work hard at a market and you have a good understanding about what the market is and you have good partners, you get success from it. So that's.
So for you, what is the top 5 market across the globe?
I mean, America's a big market for gin. Europe, Australia, New Zealand, and then other emerging markets. China's emerging as a market for gin too. And then South America, we're doing some work in South America. So we are quite well spread from an international point of view. It's a big focus of ours, and we're not afraid to get on a plane and travel to a market, attend Provine in Mumbai or Provine in Singapore, whichever one it might be, because you can't do it from home. And the last few years we've all had to do a lot more on Teams and Zoom, and that's just been the way of life due to COVID and the pandemic. But you have to go to the market, you have to attend the shows to really get the full benefit of it. Yeah.
Thank you, James. I think it was an interesting, sharing your ideas and your future plans. And we got a small token of gift for you.
Yeah.
So, thank you.
That's great. That's really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Thank you.